Hi crafters, this is Margaret. I am back to show you how to do or make this, it's kind of like a star snowflake. I don't know. It's double star. I just think it is the prettiest thing, and I think it would look really nice. You could make ornaments out of this for Christmas, but I also think it would be something that would be nice to hang on a gift basket. For like a fall gift basket. This is not my original design. Unfortunately, I tried to look for where I did see it originally and I can't seem to find it. So if I do, I will end up putting it down below in the description box, but I really looked all around to see if I could put down who I originally watched this from. So not my credit, but here we go. So what it's going to take is 2 pieces of 6x6 paper, and what I thought I would do is take the paper from Prima, and I'm going to try and see how this looks, one on one side, one on the other. And I actually used my 12x12 paper and just cut out the 6x6. So we're going to go ahead and let's do some scoring lines on these. And basically, where's my score tool? Oh, right in front of me. So basically what you're going to do, because this is 6, we're going to score at 3, and then we're going to score at 3 again. And we're going to do that on both. And then the rest from there, we're going to go ahead and do the folding on our own, because there's some side folds to it. So very easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time for doing the folding and the creasing on the paper. Now this is colored cardstock. So the cardstock I used the last time, it was Hello Autumn, and I think that it turned out pretty good that way with that and scoring on it. But just be careful with any patterned paper, because it's usually not as sturdy as especially the artisan cardstock. So we've scored those at 3x3, or 3 inches, and then 3 inches. So that folded it in half, and then it folded it in half again. So we folded it in half, folded it in half again. Now we're going to take and match it corner to corner. So go ahead and do that on both sides. We're going to do corner to corner. All right, and I'm going to do both of these at the same time that I'm doing these. And you know, if you're a little bit off, it's not really, it's better to be as even as possible, but I can tell you that if you're a little bit off, it's not going to really harm anything. But try to be as on point, as they say, as possible, and try to get it lined up as straight as possible. You can see this is, in order for me to get this in line, I needed to be just a little bit off. That's not going to make any huge traumatic issue with it. But now we have this so that it's folded in many different ways. So we're going to do our other sheet. We're going to, once again, we're going to fold this in half. We already did our scoring and our folding. Maybe I didn't do, oh, you know what I didn't? My apologies, I didn't score those original, or not score, but burnish those original lines. So let me do that real quick. All right. And then this was our opposite sides. So we're going to do that side, score that, and then we are going to match this up corner to corner. One of the things I always say about paper crafting is I think that it's good to share all kinds of different projects, because many of the projects are things that have been done before, and I'm sure that some people come up with some original designs, but I think that a lot of it has been done before and shared before, and I think it's important that we realize that, you know, it's all about sharing with other crafters. So then once you have these all scored and folded, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take a ruler, and on each of these we are going to, on this score line, so you'll see there's a score line right there, and actually if it's easier to see, we are going to measure up 1 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to measure up here 1 1/4 inches on all 4 sides. There's my pencil. And basically what we're going to do is then we're going to do some cutting on those scores, and I will show you that as soon as I have these marked. Oops, I'm going to do this again just so you can see that a little better. Hopefully you can. So 1 1/4 inches. And again, if you don't get it exact, it's really not going to make that huge of a difference. Just try to be as consistent as possible so that you have a good measurement or line up on your paper. So basically what that's going to mean is we are going to cut straight up here to our mark, the 1 1/4 inch mark on all 4 sides, just straight up. There we go. So we've got those all done. Now let's do this other one. And I'm doing these together because I want to be able to show you how I glued them together. The individual that I watched when they did it, she used glue dots, but I used my art glitter glue like I do all the time for almost everything that I put together, almost everything that I do. So whatever you're comfortable with or that holds the best for you, that's the glue you can use. So once we've got those marked, this one might be a little bit harder to see. We're going to cut up to there. Straight up to there. Yeah, and I know that you can't see the measurements on this probably because I'm having a hard time seeing them actually. So, okay, now that we have all of that done, then what we're going to do is we're going to take these cuts and we're going to fold them in to make a point. Now I've got to remember how I'm doing this again. It's been a little while since I've done it and I'm kind of going by my directions here. So this is probably the hardest part of this whole thing, is taking and folding this side in so that we make a point there. And you want to do it folding it in on the opposite side of your paper. So you're going to go around and you're going to do this with all 4 of these pieces. and you want to measure them so they're measured up to the line, and you make yourself a point. So if you can see that I'm pulling this piece in to this fold right here, pulling this in and trying to make this to lay flat and into a point. Again, this is probably the hardest part of the whole thing. So just take your time when you're doing it, and you'll get a better fold. And I'm sure that if you have paper that is, you know, not as thick, it would probably make it easier too. But then again, I'm not sure whether the score lines would end up cracking the paper. So just be careful of that too. Make sure that you kind of try out the paper too for burnishing. So we're going to burnish that down. Okay. Then what we're going to end up doing is we are going to end up coming back with our other side, and we are going to pull this in like a point underneath. Let me just read my notes here for a second. Fold in to the point and put glue on the underside and even up edge so it's open point. So basically, you know what, I think what I need to do here that I forgot is I actually need to do all 4 of these points. Sorry, forgot that part. So got to fold the rest of these in here. Great. And the way to do this is to try to line them up together, the edges, without pulling on the lines there. And once you've got these scored and pulled in together, I'll show you how to finish off the rest of it. But I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll do the other one off camera. Or maybe I'll just do it on camera and speed it up. Or I guess you could fast forward too if I can't get it to speed up in my recording. I'm not exactly sure how to do that on recordings yet. I've got a new software editor that, or video editor, and I actually like what I've learned so far, but there are a couple things that I haven't learned on it yet. And one of the things is the speeding up the filming. So that I have to learn yet. So now we've got all these points together in our star. So basically all that we're going to do is we are now going to take and glue these together. Now you can again use whatever type of glue that you like to use, whether it's score tape, whether it's, you know, a liquid glue. I like the liquid glue because it lets me be able to move this around a little bit in order to get them to fit exactly how I want them to fit together. Because we're going to take these and pull these so that one side matches up with the other side. And pulling these all the way in so that we have And I even, you know, I have even taken my clothespins to help me sometimes. So I'm just going to take, you can put the glue here, you can put the glue on this side, whatever you're most comfortable with or wherever you feel that it works the best. And again, we're going to pull this together and we are going to match up these sides as close to the edge as possible and making a good point. So I apologize if my hands and fingers are in the way of looking at for watching this, but hopefully you'll be able to get the gist of it. Do the next one. Pull that in together so that all fits tight. Sometimes I have taken my pencil here because to get the inside onto, you know, glued all the way down, all the way along here. Okay, and then we've got one more side to do. Right. We're going to pull this and fit this all the way over. All right. And there you go. We've got our first one completed. So it's just as easy as that. I'm going to set that off to the side and let's work on our other one, get that completed. Ugh, my pin. And I'll show you what I did when I put them together. So we've got our pieces that are cut here, and we are just going to fold this in and fold it in along the crease to make as nice of a point as we can. And I find that if you can do a bit of burnishing, that it helps to make the star a little bit more pointed. And of course, as I'm saying that, my one on this side isn't as pointed as I would like it to be. But let me just pull that down. Again, this is probably the hardest part of this whole project. And it's not that it's so hard that you can't do it, sometimes it's just more about patience and maneuvering the paper. So, but once you've done one or two, you kind of get the hang of it, and it becomes even easier. And you could get quite a few of these done. So if you think that you would like to possibly use these, they would even be great on presents for the holidays. You can do more embellishing to these, whether you want to put some types of gems on them. For those of you that really like glitter, I'm sure you could do some glitter on them. I'm not a glitter fan because I don't like glitter all over my house. But if you like glitter, this would be a good thing to put glitter on. Or for that fact, you know, if you could find, I've not tried it, so I don't know if it'll work, but I wonder if you tried a glitter paper. And I know today we can find some glitter papers now that don't have all of that falling off. There's lots of things I'm sure that you can do with these stars, gift tags, ornaments, because the idea of this is this is a 6x6 paper, and so I would assume that you could make this out of, let's say, 8x8. You might want to just make the cut a little bit higher on those creases to give it a little bit more room for cutting and folding and bending. I'm not sure, I've never tried it, so I can't speak knowledgeably about that, but that's probably what I would try. And whether you can make them smaller, I think that making them smaller you could do that, but it might be a little bit harder in the bending and folding of this part of the, goodness gracious. Okay, just take and pull these sides together. Get my finger in there. I don't have the daintiest fingers, so those of you with really small fingers probably could get your finger all up in here and press it down real well. You can go around, you can go across from each other, whatever works best for you. Now you can see in this one, I don't have this one quite as pointy as I would like it to be, so I'm going to try to bend some of that as I'm gluing here to make it a little bit more pointy. And then one of the things that you're going to find is once you put these two together, they are going to be a little bit wonky when you try to glue them together. And I'm sure that's why she used glue dots to put it together. But I found that if I just held on to it for a little while, that it actually stayed together with the art glitter glue. And then I just let it sit and dry for a period of time before I moved it or played around with it or anything. But I've also had a couple other people ask about another project that I did. It's a small kind of treat box, and I will be putting up a tutorial for that maybe one night this week. Maybe towards the end of the week, I'm not sure. I want to get my other project completed first. So here we have our two stars, and you can see that you can see in the openings of them, but what we're going to end up doing is put these two together just like this and glue them together. And what I did was I just took my art glitter glue and I went around here with enough of it so that it could move together with my star. And I have a little bit, and then I just hold them together, and I have a little bit extra here off to the side, so I'm going to wipe that away if there's anything extra in there. Hold that for a few minutes. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can use two papers that are exactly the same. I just wanted to try this to see what it would look like with the pumpkins and with this buffalo check, or this check, the black and white. I'd imagine you could even do some other kinds of, like maybe stickles on the point of here, or other types of drops or gems along the points. might look pretty nifty. They might even look nice on a tabletop that they're just all sitting like that. So you see, there we, oh, look at me. There you see, it's all stuck together. No, it isn't. I just need to hold it a little bit longer and not flip it around, and our glue will stay. Just be careful with that. So basically what you can see then is this is how you've put your star together. I've glued them together so that they don't come apart. I'm just turning this a little bit. I've got this off a little. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not going to let it go because it really needs to be held. The other thing that you could use probably is hot glue. Might work very well, and it will hold it a lot quicker. The thing is what you find is there's a little bit of a gap between them unless you kind of push them down onto each other and hold them a little tighter. So you may have to do that. But otherwise, that's how we make our stars, ornaments, or snowflakes, whatever you want to call them. So they would be nice on packages. They would be nice hanging from the tree. They could be just laid on tables as a decoration for a larger tabletop, or even in a basket. You put several of them into, if you're going to do a fall basket, several of them in several different fall papers. And a great way to use up your additional papers that maybe you don't have enough for a project, but you can utilize them for something like this. So I will be back with my other project probably sometime this week, sooner than later. Don't know exactly what day. And if you like this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you real soon. Thanks so much for visiting me. Enjoy having you on my channel. Thanks so much. Have a great day.